Hi, guys. Welcome to the War Room. And yes, another fantastic Testimony Tuesday. I hope you guys can hear me. I am still struggling and receiving my healing for almost a 2 week long common cold, I guess that's what you can call it. And I almost did not. I had decided that I was going to postpone this week's Testimony Tuesday. But when you are as dedicated to God and the mission that He is giving you as I am, then I could not let a common cold stop me from helping someone receive what they need to receive for their life. Um, you never know what people are dealing with and what they need. And there are so many people who are taking liking to the Testimony Tuesdays and are feeding back to me that this is helping them and that they look forward to each week to the testimonies. So I dare not get in my flesh and allow what my physical body is manifesting on the outside to stop me from doing what God has gifted me to do for someone and to help disciple others to Christ. It is more of a mission for me than it is just as I'm quoting someone now, as one of my barbers at the salon say, "Girl, your series be good." It's not a series. You funny dude, but for me, it is more like a mission. I really am humbled that you guys enjoy the testimonies, but as you are enjoying them, please get something out of them because these are my real life, true events, stories, visions, experiences, and visits to the spiritual realm. Sometimes I get visits from the spiritual realm. So they're here to help you. The Lord has instructed me to start telling the people what He wants them to know. And yes, we have preachers, we have teachers, we have pastors, we have all these great prophets and different people out here to minister a word to your need. Yes, we do have them all. And the Bible even speaks of them. We have so many. But we also have among them false prophets. That the word that they speak sometimes will fool the very elect, which are the chosen ones, those that are supposed to know the word of God. And when God instructed me years ago that I had a mission, and before He told me exactly what it was going to be, I just said yes. So when you say yes to God, you have to be ready for whatever it is. You can't say, "God, I say yes. I surrender. I lift my hands to you and I'll do what you tell me to do." And then when it starts to happen and things start to take place, or you start encountering things, you start to have second guesses, second thoughts, and questioning the things that God is doing. I never question Him. That's the one thing about me. I've never questioned God. The thing is, I always know when it's God. You have to know when it's God and when it's not. And seeing as though He has been dealing with me since I was 8, yeah, I know His voice, like I know my mom's voice. Or one of my children's voice. So I said all that to say that please, um, as you are watching the testimonies, search it, find something that can help you. And because I tend to get excited, and I noticed in the beginning, sometimes I may have misquoted a few things. If you are a Bible scholar or if you know the word, then check it. Make sure if I didn't say it right, then hey, hit me up in the comment section. I'm never too proud to say that I misquoted something if I did. And I think a couple of times maybe twice, I misquoted a name or two with the stories because I'd be so excited with these stories in the Old Testament. I love the Old Testament stories, and I love how Jesus came and gave us grace. But honestly, y'all, God was a gangster. Okay, those are my words. That was not in the Bible. Okay, God was a gangster straight up, and in the Old Testament, if you read enough, you'll find out that He really was. But that's why He had to let Jesus come to give us mercy. Because if it was up to God, boom, that's it. Okay. But He does give us chances. He is a chance giver. Let me stop joking around. I had to put a little humor in there because I'm feeling, you all can't tell, a little terrible, and I probably sound like it, but I sound regular to myself. So okay, we're gonna get to this. Last week I told you guys that oh, before I go into that, thank you guys for viewing. Start saying that in the beginning. You can view this on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you for those who have. You can view it on TikTok, and you can also view it on Facebook, which I have stopped just for a moment until the Lord tells me to go back to that, because yeah, that's a whole nother conversation that I have to have with you guys another time. But whichever social media site you view it on, thank you for the feedback, and thank you. But bless God for the ability to do so. So I told you guys, sorry, told you guys last week that I was finishing up with the narcissist spirit and everything. But of course, as I pray and I talk to God and I read my word, and I say, well, Lord, what do you want me to tell them about this week? Because I told you guys I have books of everything. I have documented pretty much my entire life in book. And it's so many that when I go back and read it, I say, oh my gosh, I do remember that. Oh my gosh, I do remember that. I have to ask God, what did he want me to do? He told me to stay right here and finish, just give a little bit more information about my experience with the narcissist spirit. Oh gosh, sometimes it'd be so hard because, you could talk about things and say things, and people are watching and they try to misinterpret what you're saying. So I'm going to say this before I get into it. When I talk about the narcissist spirit, I'm talking about a spirit, not a person in human flesh. Because as I told you before, and if you were watching in past testimonies, I'll always reference, go back and watch past testimonies so you won't be confused and lost when I get to talking. We are influenced by demonic presences every single day. They are all around us. You could be as good as you want. You could be the best preacher in everything that you want, but we all have an attachment. And I'm not saying that they just stuck to us walking, but they're influenced. That's why the Bible says that the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he can devour. When you seek, you're searching something out. You're looking for something. So if you have a little bit of light on you, the devil's going to test it, and he's going to try to see if you're worth testing. And so that's why you see some of these high-ranking preachers fall, or as soon as they make a mistake and it's all over the news and everything, people go, talk about him and do all of that, because you have to have a pure heart before God. You have to live right before God. You got to know your word. You got to understand how the spirit realm works. And that is part of my mission. I have been given knowledge about the spirit realm, and I know there are others out here who have the same knowledge, but God deals with me one-on-one. So the fact that he chose me to go ahead and not saying that I'm the only chosen one, to go ahead and start doing this and explain some things from his table, from the throne room, some secrets from the realm that he wants me to share, then I'm going to do so. So when I said I was talking about the narcissist spirit, I'm talking about just that, the spirit that has attached itself to a human being. And I'm not saying that that person was terrible and that person in the flesh, but the spirit that attaches itself and it grows. And when I was saying cousins and family members, not particularly talking about people in the flesh, people, I'm talking about family members of the narcissist spirit, and that comes along with that, the narcissist, and he brings his cousins. We'll say procrastination, the anger spirit. He'll bring the gaslighting spirit, the manipulation spirit. That's what I mean by his family members. Okay, so now that I've cleared that, I just wanted to clear that up. Y'all know how y'all be. It's really sad. So let's get into it. Still around that time, early on in that particular situation. Okay, now I have to really choose my words wisely. In that particular situation, that spirit was so dominant. It was so adamant to not allow that relationship to grow. It didn't even want to crack the door for the relationship to even mend at all. It didn't. And so it came with the best punches that it had. And if you're not, I'm not going to say spiritual, if you are not wise in your word, if you are not wise in the things of God, you will miss it. And at that time, I believe I had gotten totally over into the flesh. I had totally laid aside everything that God had given me. And I always had it. And I just knew who I was. So I wasn't checking for who I needed to be in the flesh for another human being. I wasn't checking for that. I just knew that, hey, once you save, you always save. You always in God. You can't change. But when them spirits come along and you just forget about all the things that God has given you and dealt with you on, you tend to get off into the flesh, which I have said before in the past testimonies. And my mind kind of just went blank. And I allowed that spirit to run rampant against me and to place things in my mind and to gaslight and do all the things that that spirit did at that particular time. And during that time, I'm going to share with you the second vision from the 40-day fast, because if you go back on a few testimonies, I tell you that I forgot to get my tissue. That I was doing a 41-day fast with the Love Dare journey because I wanted to get myself together. And I was so tired of being beat down by the spirit that, and not physically, spiritually, and mentally. And I wanted to make sure that God was pleased with me because I knew I wasn't pleased with me. So God can't be pleased with me. So I had to get it together, y'all. And I was doing the Love Dare. And when I tell you, everything I did was rejected, everything I did. And I believe, I think I said that I don't think he knew I was doing the Love Dare, but I do remember that he did because of some of the things that I was doing. He watched the movie with me, so he knew I was doing it. And I think he asked me that at one point. Just totally slipped my mind. What are you trying to do, the Love Dare? And I was like, what makes you say that? So when he found out, I don't know if that spirit said, yeah, I got you now. So I was just totally rejected a lot. And of course, as I shared with you guys before, yes, it did make me angry. Yes, I did get over in the flesh because I'm like, hey, so-and-so, negative words, I don't have to do this and I don't have to be this way toward you and this, that, and the other. But then a part of me would feel like, Robin, you're wrong. You are a child of God. And yes, you are supposed to be kind. And yes, love is patient. Love is kind. Love is, it was just, my inner man was reminding me every day of the things that love was. But the fleshly side of me was seeing all the things that love wasn't. And I was like, this ain't love. This ain't love. This ain't love. And I never even took a second to fight in the spirit. And God knew that. He knew that I needed help because I told you guys before that I was sending up my SOSs as fast as the narcissist spirit was attacking me. So I'm sending up my SOSs and I'm like, help me, help me, help me. I don't want to go back into what I already said prior weeks before. So the second day of the 41-day Love Dare challenge, and I went down on my knees and I missed this, but I think I put it in the comments. That first vision, I was there for only 6 minutes. And I know it was 6 minutes because I just saw the number 6 when I was flying back out of the presence, out of the throne room. And I was like, 6 minutes. I must have been there 6 minutes. But when I woke up, an hour had went by. Okay. So this vision, same thing, you guys. I went down to sleep and I got to be careful when I say vision and actual going into the spirit realm, because these were actual visits to the spirit realm, what I'm explaining now. Now, the visions, I will tell you what the visions were, the ones that were visions and the ones that were dreams. I will make sure I say that, but somehow in my mind, I just keep saying vision with everything. But this was an actual experience. I went in the spirit realm, and I don't think I was at any place, to be honest. So I went down, and after this whole thing took place, I woke up, And I felt like I had only been there maybe 5 minutes, maybe 5. But I woke up and I had been there maybe an hour and a half. And I say that because I was home alone. And it was the daytime and I didn't have to work. Remember I told you guys I was working at Smart Style inside of Walmart back then. And I didn't have to work that day. So I took that day because I had something great planned from the Love Dare Challenge. And I was so excited about doing that particular one that day, because I knew that if it was me, this is what I would want. And I would want somebody to fight for me, which I always did. Fight for me, tell me our love is worth it. Tell me this, that, so I'm not expecting him to say it, but, through the action. So I was excited. I'm getting dizzy. I'm sorry. Whatever this thing that is, this common cold, I've already rebuked it and I have charged it to leave and everything. So, but I'm not going to allow my physical body to cause me to stop. So I was excited about doing that challenge. And I remember getting up where I see that an hour and a half had went by. So I go in there and I go for prayer and I lay on the floor, as I always did. I just laid out because normally I didn't want to say anything. I know that I'm supposed to pray. I know. But sometimes I just want to hug from my daddy. I just want to hear my daddy's voice. I don't always want to go in and ask him for stuff. He know what I'm dealing with already. He know what I'm faced with and what I'm challenged with. Why I got to go in there and tell him what's going on with me when he already knows and sees it. So the best thing for me to do is just come and surrender, like, oh, I can't handle it, and lay there and let him do what he has to do and what he does best. And so I lay there and I'm laying there and nothing is happening right away. So as I'm laying there, I'm like struggling to close my eyes. I'm like, nothing happening, because I be thinking I'm instantly going to get transported. No. So I just open my mouth and I just start saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. I don't think I said amen, but I said something that I say with my kids every night. Actually, we make it a little jingle, and that's God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the Lord has given us 1, 2, 3 power. And we say 1, 2, 3 for the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So anyway, back to what happened. After I said that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the Lord has given us 1, 2, 3 power, instantly I was in the spirit. I don't know where I was, but I'm laying there and I'm thinking I'm still on the floor. So I guess I was wherever I was, and I look around me and I get up. I don't even see a floor. I don't see any ground. I told y'all last testimony that this one was scary, so for me it is. So I began to walk, and as I'm walking, there is just darkness around me. I don't see anything. And as I'm walking, I start to hear thunder. Do, 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 do. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm in the spirit, but you're going to have to show something so I won't be scared. Like, don't let nothing creep up on me. Don't let nothing get attached to me. Because I was always thinking something was going to attach itself to me when I got there. So as I'm walking and I'm do, 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 do. Then I hear pop, pop. Like somebody hit that deep drum that, they be doom, doom, like that. It was like, boom, boom. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm getting scared because I don't see any light. There is nothing for, I can't say miles because I don't even know where I was. All of a sudden, I hear stop, and I stop. And all of a sudden, everything turned red. Ooh. Fire red. Like, it wasn't a fire. It just looked like a replica of fire. And I'm looking and I'm like, is this the sky? And I guess it was. I guess it was the sky, because what I saw next kind of petrified me. So I stopped and I'm standing there and I'm still hearing the beat of the drum and the lightning. And all of a sudden I hear cracking around me. And as I start looking at the red sky, I'm seeing lightning bolts through the red sky. It was like clouds. You ever seen the red sky with clouds in it? You ever seen the moon when it's orange? Kind of looked like that. So I'm seeing this and I'm like, because I'm a cloud watcher and I love clouds. Oh my gosh, I can see so much in the clouds. And yeah, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm thinking, why are the clouds? Why is the sky red? Why is the red overtaking the clouds and everything? And I'm standing there looking and I hear this crackling. And then I rock back and forth like this. And I'm like, what's happening? And I look down, guys. And all of a sudden, I guess I was on the ground. The ground just broke up. The ground broke up and it fell. And I was left standing on this thing. It was round, just enough for my feet to stand on. So if I hadn't moved, I would have fell. It was round enough just for my feet to stand on. And I didn't bend to look because I was smart. Like, this ain't the throne room, so I'm not finna bend over and look. I saw the bottom of it was like, it looked like a rock that had been broke off, and the bottom pieces got narrow, but there was never an end to that, whatever that was that I was standing on. And I saw that and I was like, oh, so now I'm scared I'm gonna fall. All of a sudden, I start hearing spot, spot, like when hail falls, but it wasn't hail. Oh God, there were people raining from the sky. And they were screaming, no, help me. Wait, I'm sorry. And for the most part, no matter what they were saying, it was so collectively that everything just sounded like, ah. I saw people raining from this red sky. I'm still waiting for some light to show up because I'm like, I know Jesus finna show up. He never let me down before. He gonna always show up in all my visions. Well, all the places that I go, I just always assume that, right? No, I don't think that was the experience he wanted me to have this time. And as they're falling, I'm seeing Caucasians, Chinese people, Japanese people, people from every nationality, Black, just Mexican. It was all kind of people. Y'all know y'all nationality, so that's what it was. It was a nationality of people raining from the sky. They were fat, they were thin, they were overweight, they were anorexic. I didn't see babies. I didn't see kids. I did see young adults and adults. I won't even say I saw. I would say, to my knowledge, because it really scared me, I could say I didn't see anybody from 15 down. But I could be wrong. It could have been from 13 down. Could have been from 12 down. But I didn't see anybody that age group down. But these people they were raining from the sky and they were screaming as they were falling. And they were coming through some sort of patch in the sky. It was like they were being spit out. Just spit out. And it was like they were being judged. And they were all falling, and everybody was falling at the same time. And I got to stop saying crazy. I was so nervous that I thought I was going to get hit by somebody. So I'm ducking, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, help me. And I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I'm screaming. I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this, because they were screaming and crying, and it was making me cry because I didn't know where they were falling from, and I didn't know what their situation was, and why were they being kicked out from wherever they were being kicked out from, or why were they being punctured through whatever that was down here. And as I'm looking at them falling, and he just said, open your eyes and look at them. And so I opened my eyes because I was ducking and I had closed them for a second, and I opened my eyes and I looked, and this real huge man fell past me. And when I say huge, he wasn't huge in stature. He was huge in, I need the right word, Lord. In his life, he was a very famous man. he rained right past me, and his eyes caught a glimpse of mine. And as his eyes caught a glimpse of mine and he fell, I looked. I didn't lean over because, hey, I told y'all I ain't had that much room. And as I looked and I saw him falling, he just kept falling. And so did all other people. They just kept falling. There was no end. Their screams and cries were like forever. They didn't stop. And it really scared me so bad because I was like, are they going to hell? Because I thought that's what was under me and where they were going. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, what the red sky for? I didn't even want to know. At that point, I didn't even want to know. And as I saw him fall, then I start seeing other people, more people. It's like a neon sign lit up that these were famous people, huge people, people of great influence, multimillionaires, billionaires, and they